Hello friends, this is a video showing you a different way to do your first row. So the row that you work into your chains. There are two ways to do it. For beginners, I think it's great and easier to learn this way. So you worked your chain stitches and then you did your first row into, you like split the V and you just pick up one loop of the V. And then what it does at the bottom, it creates a really nice scallop, just kind of like a wave almost. And this is the friendliest way to do your first row, working into your chains, because we all know it's not easy to work into those chains. And this is how I started crocheting. And then I learned a different way. By working into the back bump of your chains, instead of scallops at the bottom, little waves, you have nice looking V's, just like you do at the other end of your work. So it's a little bit neater, like it's kind of like a nicer finishing edge to your chains, to the bottom end of your work. So let's say you're making a sweater for yourself and it starts with chains, like the neckline is going to be your chain stitches. It's so much nicer to have these beautiful V's around the neckline rather than just these scallops. So this is kind of like an intermediate technique, and you can choose, which you like best for your projects. Sometimes you don't need to do this. Sometimes this is just fine. But now, after this video, you'll know how to do both. In my videos on how to do chains, I think I go over this the way I usually teach beginners, but I'll show you how to do that too. I guess I can start by showing you how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. And here's my new yarn. I'm just going to do a slip knot and get that on my hook. If you need a review on how to do slip knots, you can watch my video. And I'm just going to chain 10. And I'm going to do nice and loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I'm gonna do double crochets for this too, just because it's a faster stitch. So this way, this beginner-friendly way, is created by splitting the V. So working, sending your hook into the V and just catching one bar. But if you flip your chains over, there's this little bump on the back. Kind of looks like a dashed line running down your chains. That's the back bump, and that's where we're going to work into. It's a little bit more challenging and fussy, so this is why it's kind of an intermediate skill. So let's do our double crochet, so yarn over like you would, and I'm just going to skip the first 2 chains, or rather the first 2 back bumps. So here's 1, here's 2, and I'm going to work into my 3rd back bump. So my hook goes just catching that back bump. And then if you look on the other side, here are the 2 bars that make up my V. Oops, and a cat hair. So that's what creates the really nice V on the bottom of your work, the finished edge. And then let's work our double crochet as usual. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we'll just work down the rest of our chains going into the back bumps. Insert into the back bump, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And you can already see it creating a really nice finished edge of just V's. So it is a little bit fussier. You got to really take your time, making sure too that your chains aren't twisting on you, right? That you haven't like gone full circle, because then you just have this kind of a, I don't know, I guess like a little knot. It just wouldn't create a nice smooth edge. I guess I could skip ahead in the video and show you what this looks like when it's totally done. So I'm about to work into my last back bump, and you'll notice it's coming right out of my slip knot here. And that's my last back bump. So insert into it, just catching the back bump, and work your last stitch as usual. And then instead of little scallops at the base of your work, you have really nice looking V's. They just mirror the stitches on top. So consider using this technique when doing your first row after your chains. Challenge yourself, and yeah, it really does create a really nice finished edge. So that's it. Happy making.